Okay, friends, it's time to read a little bit more about Ivan today. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. It was probably yesterday. We have to be thinking about the opinions that Ivan has about humans. Now, can someone's opinions change? Yeah. But up to this point, what opinion do you think Ivan has of humans? Just we're at the point we're at in the story right now. What do you think, Jenny?
He doesn't like them, but then again he kind of likes them.
Okay, so if you didn't hear her, she said he doesn't like them, but then again, he kind of does like them. Connor?
He kind of doesn't like them because he throws
The meatballs. So Connor said he kind of doesn't like them because he throws meatballs at them. You guys remember what the meatballs were?
Yeah,
The dried up poop, his dried up poop. And it's about what size?
The size of a small.
Yeah, a small apple. That's a pretty big ball of poop. All right. What do some of you others think for his opinions about humans?
That he doesn't like humans, but then he likes some of them.
Okay, so there's some he doesn't like and some that he does like. All right, Amy?
He thinks they're weird because they go out of the mall with overflowing bags.
Okay. She said he thinks they're weird because they go out of the mall with all these bags. Remember, I think he said stuff they don't need or something along those lines, or so much stuff. Raylyn?
I think that it's kind of like Haley, but they don't carry around the yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think of Ivan's domain? Remember what domain means?
Mm-hmm.
It's his territory. So where he lives, right, would be his domain. Let's wear our masks correctly, friends. What do you think of his domain based on how he has described it? Luxurious?
No.
Super nice?
No.
No? Amy? Nice and loud.
Maybe like not good, but not too good, and probably not too bad.
All right, so just kind of so-so. Why? Why would it be just kind of so-so? Amy?
Because they paint because it has like the places like has waterfalls and like other things in the jungle kind of, but it's all painted on the wall.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have a museum.
Okay. So it's all just painted there. If it is like a flower or something, is it real?
No.
No.
That this domain is kind of dirty because the person who cleans it doesn't clean it very well.
Okay. So Connor thinks that it's kind of dirty. I would agree with Connor. I'm just going to add a little bit more to that. I would agree with him because remember the little plastic pool that he's got inside there? How did it describe the water? Dirty.
Not very nice because they also didn't fix the hole in the thing.
Oh, I would agree with Haley there. If you didn't hear her, she said not very nice because they didn't fix the hole in that really thick glass wall that he's got. Remember how that broke?
Yeah.
Who was responsible for that break? Everybody? Ivan. And what did he break it with?
A baseball bat.
A baseball bat. Does he still have the baseball bat?
No.
Why not?
it away from him.
Oh, was that probably a good idea?
Yeah.
Probably so. All right, now I want you to think of like your emotions so far in this story from what we've read so far. How do these chapters make you feel? You know, about what we've read, what we've found out about Ivan, how he has described things that are going on in the story. How does that make you feel? Connor?
Kind of funny.
Kind of funny, why?
Because the things that he says, like the mud ball,
The meatballs.
the meatballs and the baseball bat.
So kind of some funny things that he does. All right. How does it make you feel, Raylan?
Interesting.
You feel interested? Why?
Because he says weird stuff and then he says something else.
Okay. How about you, Amy?
Kind of weird.
Why? She said weird if you didn't hear her.
Maybe because of
The meatballs.
And
How dirty the cage is. Is that what you said? His domain, okay. Is that kind of what you were thinking too?
Kind of like
All of them. Jenny, nice and loud, what are you thinking?
kind of lonely because he has no one to talk to or be friends with.
I would agree with that. That's kind of like how I felt about things too. I feel bad for him. Yeah, he's got Julia that, you know, slides colors and the paper in there to him. And, you know, he has friends outside his domain. But does he ever really have anyone there for him at this point in the story? No. Okay. Let's get back into our story then. We're on page 19, and the chapter is Shapes in Clouds. Remember, it might be good if you struggle getting off on lines to follow along with your bookmark and just slide it down as we go. That's a good reading strategy to use for yourself. All right, Shapes in Clouds. I think I've always been an artist, even as a baby, still clinging to my mother. I had an artist's eye. I saw shapes in the clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of a stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my early life, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back for a canvas. What does that mean? What was he doing?
Paint mud on his mom.
Yeah, he would put his fingers in that muddy mess and on his mom's back start like painting a picture using the mud. She was a patient soul, my mother. If she was patient, would she get mad at him? No. Would she let him just do it?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, next chapter is imagination. Someday I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our pasts or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly I think about, sorry, did I read that wrong? Mostly I think about what is, not what could be. I've learned not to get my hopes up. Sorry, my mask is sliding down. All right, so now we have one more chapter, and that finishes out our first 11 chapters, which, if you remember, in this thick packet, this comprehension part here on those 2 pages, I believe it was, were for chapters 1 through 11. Okay, so we're going to be going back into our packet as soon as we finish reading this chapter. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
The loneliest gorilla in the world. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Are there very many people going there anymore? No. Max says he's worried. He says I'm not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass. They cluck their tongues. They frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mother's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I can understand them. It's not so bad, I wanted to tell the little boy. With enough time, you can get used to almost anything. Okay, for now, put your bookmark back in your book. Did the mood kind of change there?
Yeah.
The mood of the story?
Mm-hmm.
Like the emotions, do they change a little bit? Okay. So we're on page 2 in the thick packet. We've talked about these. Now we're going to write about it, okay? So look at part 1. Ivan has some opinions about humans. What are at least 2 opinions that he expresses in these chapters? And then you have to tell whether you agree with how he feels or whether you disagree with how he feels. Okay, let's jump down to 2. How does Ivan describe his domain? Do you think he enjoys his life? And then you have to explain your thinking. So there's kind of 3 parts to that, right? How he describes where he lives, his territory, whether you think he enjoys it or not, and then you're telling why. The 3rd part is, overall, how do these chapters make you feel? Is that what we just talked about?
Yeah.
Yes. Why do they make you feel that way? You're going to give evidence from what we've read over these past 11 chapters to support your answer. So you're telling how you are feeling so far in everything we've read. So if you're feeling sad, or if you're still feeling happy, or if you still think, you're feeling kind of weird about some of the different things in the story, you're going to tell why you feel that way. using information from the story to support your answer. So, like Amy had said, I'm using your example, okay? She said, I feel a little weird about some of these things, especially the me balls. All right? But then tell why that makes you feel, why those me balls make you feel weird. Okay? And then this last part, it says draw a picture of how you imagine the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, you know, how it looks in your mind. And then jot down things that we know about it so far. Friends, don't worry about complete sentences for right now because you're going to be writing a lot the way it is. So just jot down your thoughts on all of these. Okay? And then down here too for just telling different things that we know about it. I'm going to have you work with a partner on these. I think talking with someone else, you giving ideas, them giving ideas, will make it a little easier to complete these. Questions. I went over a lot, I know. And if you have questions as we're working or as you're working, that's fine too. But starting off, what's your question?
If you feel like more than just one way, like just two, like kind of funny in the beginning, but then the last chapter we read.
Attention, staff and students. Guess what time it is? It's time to play Be the 10th Caller at 10 o'clock. Call the office 247-2176. If you are the 10th caller, you get a prize.
Okay, so if you're feeling, for which number are you talking about?
For number 3.
Okay, everybody look at number 3. That's the one about how these chapters are making you feel so far. And I think what Haley is asking is, if you feel more than one way, can you write that down? Of course, because you might have been feeling one way when we first started reading it, but now you're feeling a different way. Okay? Any other questions? No? Yes?
What if you have more opinions on like how Ivan thinks about humans?
If you have more than the 2? Because you have to provide at least 2. If you have more than 2, that's fine. But you need to come up with at least 2 opinions that he has about humans. Other questions? No? Okay.